I don't know what's going on with that. It's flickering. That's funny. Ooh, don't like that one. Yeah, that one's not bad. That one matches. I'm curious about this one though. Should I keep that? It's kind of dope. It's almost like it's on flash, but it's not. Just keep it there like that. Yeah. All right. So I've got my stream deck set back up. I didn't realize that it wasn't big in size, but there was an update. So it forced me, like right before I went to go live, it forced me to restart OBS and everything. So I had to restart the process. So I'm excited to get back to using that again because that's so much more fun, so much more enjoyable. Why does it look like this? Discord made some changes. I don't know why. I have to. If I don't do that, then it'll take 30 minutes for it to do it. All right. So last Tuesday, I had spent time. Oh, let's see if this worked again. Oh, sweet. I don't think it's working. I'm gonna have to contact them. Or just change up my bot, but we'll see. So last Tuesday had spent time, we re-recorded, reshot, if you will, the recording for the first episode, the first video that's going to be a part of this foundation series for shoestring budget creating, and that was about why it exists, why Budget Creator Labs, and why Shoestring Studio. And then the second video of this foundation series will be more expansive. Like the first one, it's more of like an intro. It's the first part saying like why this exists and such, but it'll be short, like under 2 minutes, while the second one would be an actual like video looking at why. What is your why as literally the hinge point and the most important and the number one thing that anyone who's looking to do content creation in general, but specifically if somebody is limited by a shoestring budget, that's what you need to prioritize, is understanding and figuring out what your why is. So we shot that first episode, the first video of that again last week, because the stuff that I had from it wasn't very good in my opinion. So I'm gonna look at what some of these, I forget. Do some of these work still? I think I need to update. Oh, that one works. Oh, okay. So some of them do work. I wish I could change the... Oh, you can change... And I can change... I did change the transition before. So if I wanted to do a quick cut and then back. Nice. 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 I'm liking it. I'm loving it. I'm going to close that, though. I don't need to have that up and open. Did I want to have... Yeah, I think so. One of the things I was fighting with myself about is about trying to do... Looking here, making sure what apps are open in the background so it's not drawing at my computer too much. So one of the things about doing these lives is about the, they're intended to be collaborative. They're intended to be here on Tuesday nights. It's meant to be a place and a time that people who have questions or they have thoughts and they want to share them on these topics, they can do just that. So while the goal is to be building content out of it, that's helpful to others who are looking at potentially getting started. It's intended to be a place where different fun conversations can be a part. And speaking of, one of the things I'd like to do, and I want to, is having some questions that are throughout the streams posted. Boom. What's a piece of content you wish existed but haven't found? That's a good question. Like, anytime I have an issue or a problem with anything, that piece, that piece of content is the one that I wish existed. I'm sure everybody can agree with that one. But I wanted to take the opportunity then tonight to spend some time actually, yeah, let me do that. Yeah, I wanted to actually pull up Zev. How we doing? Good to see you. How's your brackets looking? Pretty good, if I saw correctly. That was yours. I think I'm thinking of. But happy Tuesday. Pulling up. Why does it keep going to... I don't want it over there. Do as I say. Thank you. That doesn't work for that. So, last week I did a reshoot. My Final Four going strong. My bracket isn't great though. Yeah. I got the same thing. In fact, I'm going to take 1 second here before I start working on a little bit of this to pull mine up just to see. I keep looking at it like in accordance to, okay, I was in my Final Four still back together, those kind of things. Let's see. Can you guys hear the music or is it too quiet? Let's go here. So here's one. I didn't end up titling them at all, but here's one I've got. Let me see if my stream deck is working correctly. It's not the right, that's not the right one, but it is the right idea. What's going on here? Everything is shifted on this one. That's what I was afraid of. It's all shifted. Anyway. But right now you can see mine's not doing phenomenal. Because you made a choice. Oh, man. So my Final Four in this one is still held together. Auburn, Florida, Duke, and Kentucky. And I got Duke winning it all. Duke and Florida. So right now, what are these games we're up against right now? Florida and Maryland. I'm banking on Florida. And then I didn't have either of these. Drake I was pulling as kind of the potential, little bit of a Cinderella run, and that didn't happen. But Arkansas and Texas Tech, I don't care who makes it there as long as Florida beats them. And then I've got Kentucky winning over Tennessee. And in this one, I have, Purdue and Houston, and then I have Kentucky winning over Purdue. So that's what I got right there. My Final Four seemed too easy, so I swapped Duke for Mississippi State. I have Florida, Auburn, Tennessee left, though. Yeah, well, you win some, you lose some. You can't get too crazy. You can't get too crazy with some of them. Where's Mississippi State? Where I'm looking in the wrong spot. Yeah, up here. Where's? Oh, they lost to Baylor in the first round. See, was it you or somebody else who had pulled for? Was it? It was a Mississippi team. It wasn't Mississippi State. Ole Miss. And then they play Michigan State. So there's still a Mississippi team. Yeah, Kentucky. Oh, I don't have Kentucky win at all. But I got M2K. Good to see you. But I got Kentucky in the Final Four, losing to Duke in this one. That was me. I like Ole Miss, but I couldn't have them beat Auburn. Yeah, well, I could agree with you on that. The limited knowledge, the limited interaction I have with college basketball, but I mean, I don't know that they beat Michigan State either. So, yeah. So that's what that one looks like. And then let me look here. Where's my? Here's my other one. I had two of them. Nope, this is the same one. This is the same one. This is why you label your... This is why you label them. This is the same one. I keep clicking the same one. Hi. What? No. Why does it keep taking me to the same one? Do I need to go for... Where's it at? Here, I'll do it this way. It should be this one. Yeah. So this one, I still have the same final two. And Florida. So it just a little bit different shape. But this one I had... I have Michigan beating Auburn. And then I had Iowa State. And obviously they got whooped on by Mississippi. But I had Michigan, Iowa State with Michigan... No. I had Iowa State beating Michigan and winning this one. But this one I had Purdue making it to the Final Four facing Duke. I still had Duke winning, but I have Florida winning it all in this one. So I think it's going to be between one of these two, Duke or Florida. Hence why I have one for Duke and one for Florida. So, and this one I have Tennessee beating Kentucky, but I have Purdue then beating Tennessee. My other one I have Kentucky beating Tennessee and then Purdue losing to Kentucky. So, yeah. So there we go. Darcy blows. Kentucky is through. Okay. Your point? Your point is... So tonight, guys, I thought I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to edit, ask some questions. There is a question pinned there in chat. I'd love to get people's thoughts on what's a piece of content you wish existed but you have never found. Georgia losing hurt me, and I don't know what possessed me, but I had Troy beating Kentucky and making it to the Sweet 16. Wow. A little bit of a Trojan horse kind of thing right there. That's what you had in your mind. So tonight with this, oh, look at that face. Oh. But I thought I would, let me see. Oh my goodness, that's so loud. At least in my ears, it's so loud. I don't know if it's too loud in your guys' ears. Probably not. I probably got it pretty good. Nope. Let me see now. What if I told you that it was possible to begin building a house without even laying a brick? Yeah, so that's what I had started. I re-recorded this last week. If you weren't here, I re-recorded this because when I went back to 2 or 3 weeks ago, and when I did this first recording to try and pave the way for the kind of intro video to this video series that I'm going to be making and then releasing, kind of the first grouping of videos in this realm, in this idea of budget creation, and hopefully paving the way on helping the Delcree YouTube to build faster, hopefully paving a way to where then I can reach. Here's the ultimate goal. The idea is to have these niche focuses that people can identify a playlist to within the channel, and they be hugely beneficial, similar to a DaVinci Resolve solution video that I had made 2 years ago now. And has over 10K views. Like it's my best viewed video. It still goes and goes and goes and goes. Zev, stop. And and so with that, when I reach the point of YouTube Partner, the idea then will be to take those videos for that specific niche and start pumping into Shoestring Studio. That'll be the goal. So rather than having multiple YouTube channels up front and never seeing anything hit the light of day, I'm trying to like let all the streams of water, the tributaries, fill in to the sea, and then from there I can revert the waterways. You know what I'm saying? So my point is that that their third means they're good. Also, we're going all the way. All right, MTK, whatever you say. Kentucky, when I was in college, Kentucky was always the team that you would pick in the brackets, 100%. But I feel like it hasn't been that way as often as over the past probably like 10 years. So, but anyway, I didn't know. Before I do that, actually, what we need to do, as always, is have better priorities. I'm going to quit out of that. And that is, we need to create a YouTube thumbnail. Because what you should always do is you should create. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Okay, I'll finish my thought. You should always create your packaging before you do the fullness of your video. So in order to make sure that you have like that which will grab people's attention, or before you fill in the meat and potatoes that you think are needed in a video, you got to build up the pieces that will draw people in and then fulfill that. So that's where you create the expectation out of the thumbnail and the title, the packaging, and then these are things that I'm learning. I'm yet young in the realm of trying to apply them, but that's what I'm finding. So we gotta create this. But I said that I forgot something, didn't I? Yeah, there's something that I forgot. M2K, I just kid around with basketball. I don't actually like college basketball. I know nothing. So, what was I gonna do? Oh. One of the things I wanted to do was test out, take like 2 to 5 minutes, test out those extensions. You guys remember? Anybody who was here talked about extensions on Monday night? Yesterday, duh. And specifically looked at how I wanted to compare, like with the stream closed caption, right? So let's go. What are my components? Component 1 and 2 are blurb and prime, and then overlay. Okay, let's make it the overlay for now. I want to see how it works. I want to see if it works. Connected with Twitch. I'm a connected. Check 1 2. See, this is the problem. This was the reason why I stopped using it, is because I didn't understand why it wasn't working. So right now, I guess I'll pull it over so you guys can, oh, cancel. So you guys can see what I'm focusing on here. Becomes much more interesting that way. So right here with the stream CC, I'm on right now. Okay, yep, leave. Let's look at the settings. English, Twitch. Everything is what it needs to be. I'm curious if this is the case. Let me look. Let me see. Why won't captions Twitch extension? Yeah, let's just do work. I was gonna say, why won't it like use my mic? But as a video overlay, the streamer has it enabled, and you haven't accidentally turned it off in your viewer settings. No, extension not running. No, it's running. Not transmitting. No, it's transmitting. You don't need to install CC button hidden. Refresh the page. I've done that 1,000 times. Oh, you know what? Was it something to do with my mic on this actual? I'm curious if that's what it was. If it was something to do with. Oh man, Axis. Hey, it is great to see your face. It is great to see your face in chat, man. It was great to see you pop into to the Discord for the first time in forever. Man, all these yawns. Ugh. Nope, nope. This is not music for me. Nope. I do not like this music. Oh no. Bye, Felicia. All right. I don't know what's going on, and I don't know why. I don't know. I'm streaming on Twitch. Update your language. It's English. Click to start captions. Allow microphone. See, that's the thing I'm curious. Allow microphone permissions. Okay, how do I do that? That's what I'm trying to figure out. My closed captions aren't working. Double check your browser has the correct microphone. How do you, so that's the thing I have to figure out is like, okay, I gotta pull this over here because I'm not sure if it's gonna like try and use some things that y'all can't see. Go to my settings. How do you set up? I guess I could just type in mic and see what comes up. Sites that can use your microphone. Allowed to use my microphone. This one. It's allowed to. Why is it not using? Where is it? Sound. Microphone. Allow. So it must have the wrong thing. Aha. It does indeed. It does indeed. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Ha, we got it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got it. We got him. Beautiful. So now now you guys should be able to see, what does it look like on the stream? How's it feel? You guys got to give me some feedback on this. All right. I'm going to see if it's popping up here because I want to see what it looks like too. Oh, so it gives a black bar at the bottom and then it fills in from there. How high up? Does it only go 2 lines and then moves on to the next? Because that's what I want it to do. Oh, geez, now it went to 3. Does it fill up a whole paragraph if I just keep talking? It better not fill up too high. I don't like that. Okay, it goes 3 max, it looks like. 3 lines max. I'm just talking now. I'm just vamping so that way I can see how much it shows. Yeah, it just shows 3 lines for me. I don't know about for you, M2K. I don't know about for you, Waterless, if you're still here. I don't know if for you, Zev, if for anyone, or am I going crazy? Is it 3 lines for max? Turn on, make sure your guys' closed captions are turned on so you can help me with this. Because then what we're going to do is we're going to shut this one off and we're going to turn on another caption extension to compare the two. And then boom, I got a tested, what's the word called? I got a tested extension set out of the way, which is perfect because, you know, 1 box at a time, right? 1 box at a time. You don't see it? Oh, there's an ad running right now, unfortunately. So maybe that has something to do with it. I know you are somebody who has like an ad blocker or whatever. So, I don't know. I do not know if there's maybe some counteraction or something. Wow, I just keep yawning. All right, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to pull this over here so we can see it. I'm going to go to my extensions. We are going to go to this one right here. Ultimate close. Let's configure. We'll click that so I can go to that. And then we got to go back down to it. Activate. Activate. Now that I have a feel for what this one looks like, I'm going to set the overlay, replace it, stop these captions, and then let me authorize this just to see what the ultimate ones are going to do. Interesting. Okay. If I hit start listening, check 1, 2. Okay. So now that one is working. This is what this user face looks like. Man, that's crazy. This is what the 2 user faces look like. But, oh wow. This one is bulky. Anybody else think this one's kind of bulky? Can I change it? Does it let me change the... No, it doesn't. I gotta be real. I don't like this one as much. This one looks chonky. I am not a fan of this one. Yeah, this one is not... This one to me does not look great. And there's no... Yeah, it's just the language. I can't do anything with it. I like this other one. I believe... Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say stop listening. And I am going to close that one. Go over here. We are going to activate this and reset it as the overlay. Done. And we are going to kill this one here. Bye. Boom. Now we have to reactivate this. Actually, no, I can just go back to click to start captions and it should pick up. It should just start again, I believe. Well, I have to make sure that mine's turned on because mine it's not automatically turned on for me. But yeah, this one, I just like the size. The size of it is so much better. I like it. I like, first of all, it stretches almost the entire width of the stream rather than just this big box in the middle bottom. Yeah, I like this one. We're gonna go with this one. But what I was trying to say is I believe there's a way with caption settings. It's gonna stop picking up my voice for a second, but I could translate my English words into pirate words. Let's see what that does. I'm really curious. And I'll go from there. But like, display captions in box size. Hide captions by should I hide them by default, or should I have them on by default and let people then choose? Because this is the twofold side to that. Because on one side, there is the idea of, if you don't, like, if you have it off, people may not realize that you have it, and it might be an instant thing of just like, I don't know what's going on here. But if I have it on, then anyone can shut it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is the better play? I kind of want to have it. I kind of want to have it on by default, and then you have to shut it off. We'll see how that goes. See if people complain about it. All right, we're back on here now. Let's see what it does. This is great. It's changing what I'm saying to pirate words. All right, our jolly crew, he's back on here now. Let's see what it does. This be great. Tis changing. What I be saying to pirate words? River, how are you? It's good to see you. How be ye? Tis jolly good to see ye. That's hysterical. Oh, that's hysterical. I don't know if y'all are seeing these, or if I'm the only one enjoying this, but I got to go back and change that. I'm going to change that out of the pirate one then. If I played pirate games, that'd be hysterical. If I ever play like Black Flag or something like that, or whatever it is, from Assassin's Creed or something like that, there you go. We'll have to do the pirate thing. Or maybe I can get roped. Maybe I can get roped into one time playing something like Sea of Thieves or something like that. Oh, yeah, dude, that's hysterical. It would become like confusing, I think, but that's hysterical. Or should I just keep it piratey? I'm not gonna do that tonight. I'm not gonna do that tonight. That's funny. River, how have you been? So good to see you. We're messing around with things like usual. Like usual. Having too much fun. Also not great today. The pain's been pretty much unbearable, but won't know anything till the 4th. Oh, man. Lord. Relief. Comfort. Calm mind and heart. You know, River, my wife and I have been reading through the book of Job, because our goal this year is to read through the wisdom literature together. And when people share about the pain that they're experiencing, the situations that they're dealing with, they're really perspective pieces. For myself, when I'm not dealing with that myself, Job is a huge perspective piece in the understanding of, like, bro, I can't complain. I'm speaking for myself. Like, I can't complain. And so, oh no, PTO and sick time. Jeez. But you know, if you haven't made it a point while facing the struggles of chronic pain and such, go give Job a read. There'll be pieces that you connect with 100%, as somebody who faces chronic pain, there'll be pieces that you connect with, even if you're not somebody who faces that, because of, like, our reality is valid, even if it's not the same level as someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody may be dealing with something that really, really feels to them like the worst thing that they've experienced, even though that worst thing is nothing in scale to somebody else's worst thing if you're comparing them. But that's not what that person knows and experiences. Anyway, there's a lot of wisdom though in it, in specifically looking at the pieces of understanding, like who God is, his plan, even when we don't understand. There's so much encouragement in there, as much as just like craziness. Moments where Job is just like, why'd you even let me be born, God? bro, what? Like 6 times he says something to that effect. Why didn't you just have me born as a stillborn? Why did I have to grow to experience this? If you really love me, like why did you do this? And it's just like, it would have been better that I had died in the womb. It would have been better if it's some heavy stuff, but the reassurance and the resting then in who God is, really, and in the reality of what happens or what we're facing alongside of or within understanding God's sovereignty and who God is and how God is in control and God is working. And, where were you when I was creating the world? Like God says to Job, where were you? Like, you speak as if you speak as if you have wisdom and understanding. And it's just, it's hard. I share that, as it's something that I think there can be heavy, connection into, and therefore reassurance of who God is. And, a reminder too of this reality. It feels like something that will never end. But this life is dust in the wind. And so I cannot imagine the consistency of pain that you've experienced and how you consistently, like, I admire you in your ability to stand strong and to face the pain that you face consistently. But in the scheme of time, you're almost there. It's almost over. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I'm saying? There's a comfort in that. I think of like the picture of Paul and the, running the race, and, keep running the race. And when your time is done, cross the finish line in victory kind of thing. Did that twist out? No, it just looks weird from this angle. Okay. My ADHD, I'm so sorry. But during any kind of race or physical exertion of any kind, any athletic event, stuff like that, you have to push through in the hardest moments, where you literally have nothing else to give. Your body is giving out. You can't breathe anymore. You can't, like, how can I do that? That's where you give your final push to be able to get yourself through the finish line. So I hope there's some encouragement in that. I hope there's some encouragement in that, because that's the point. It's not anything. There's nothing else in any of that other than just to try and encourage and just try and be, because you've heard enough of like people you no doubt hear enough of people just like, oh well, this says this, and be sure to think this, and don't let this do this, and my big thing is just find some. One of the things I've experienced in my life is, and I love how you guys are getting, if you have closed captions on, you're getting that, and you're getting closed captions through the website as well. But oh, I just took myself out of it again. One of the things that I've experienced in my life that I don't have, that I desire, and I believe that everyone should have, is people around me who, when I'm struggling with something and I share that I'm struggling, they don't compete with me over who's dealing with more. They don't try to advise me and correct me and tell me what I need to be doing. Sometimes you do need pieces of those, but the majority of time, you need somebody who will shut up, sit, and listen. And you also need somebody to wear the weight with you. Somebody to, man, I can understand how that would, how that would hurt. Sorry that you're dealing with that. No judgment. No, I'm the older person. I'm a parent. I have wisdom that you didn't ask for, but I'm going to shove down your throat. And also, the comparison side. Oh, I've been dealing with this. It's like, oh man, just wait until your kids become teenagers. Well, I thought you asked me how I was doing. I didn't know you asked me about how my life was not worse than yours. I didn't know that's what we were talking about. Anyway, might be a little, I might be venting a little through this as well. But those are some of the biggest frustrations to me. And so I hope that in some way I can just be encouraging and to just kind of be sitting, the sitting next to you on the park bench as you tell me that, and just, like turn and hand on the shoulder and just like, I'm sorry. Love you, brother. Sometimes that's the most powerful thing that we need. And if you read Job, his friends, that's the wisest thing that they do. And it all ends within the first couple chapters. Because once they open their mouths, all wisdom is lost. Oh, yeah. But yeah, those have been the two biggest things. I grew up in a family that had a tendency to do that. The comparison. Very, very aggravating. Because then everything you conversed about, they had it worse. And it's just like, why am I even telling you? Why are we even talking about this? And then most of my adult life outside of my family, what I've experienced is the other one is about people who they ask you how you're doing, and you go to tell them how you're doing in honesty and in earnestness as a fellow Christian. And their thing is they don't care a word about what you just said, because you're going to sit there and tell me that you're tired? Who are you? I mean, you think you have it rough? It's just wait. All right, enough of the Zooms. But and it's just the most aggravating thing, and it's just like, and people wonder why people like myself begin to shut down. And just like, I'm a people person. I'm an external processor. I'm an extrovert. I love people. I love being around people. I love having conversations with people. But when it comes to in the midst of the Christian faith, I want to have conversations, and I want to be a part of I want to be a part of things that like live out true community. I want people who care for each other, and it's not about who has it worse and how you should be doing these things and such, when that's outside of true mentorship or true discipleship or true uh, um, community. Anyway, I'm done with that. I'm done. I'm done with my little vent session in the midst of that. Oh, let me catch up here. But more PT. I got you. RFAs, surgery. We're back. So you're back. You're back in that ring around the rosy, right? What are you doing wrong? Response. Oh man, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. To anyone who tries to say, what have you done wrong, right? That's the whole thing in Job. That's most of the conversations from his friends is just like, stop lying. You've done something to deserve this. God is a God of just, like he's a just God. He wouldn't dish this out if you didn't deserve it. And it's just, and then you get the other side in today's world, right? About the which is right in the same vein, and that's like, if you actually were faithful, if you actually loved him, if you actually, you would be healthy, you would be wealthy, you would be wise, right? All that stupidity. Had to talk to yourself for a minute. Hey, sometimes we all have to do that. 100%. Sometimes we all have to do that. It's the same conversation I have with myself almost every night. Well, listen. Humanity has been having the same conversation with itself for millennia. Making the same stupid decisions. Believing the same stupid lies. And yet, we're still here. God still has a plan. God's still working. God didn't make you by mistake. He made you with a purpose. So even when you can't answer those questions, don't get frustrated by it. Let me rephrase that. Don't get too frustrated by it. We're human after all. Speaking of, this is hysterical because the song that just came on is called Download Your Mind. It's rough to move. It really is. It's rough to move, whether it's between schools, whether it's between jobs, whether it's moving in general. It's a difficult moment in anyone's life. I think sometimes we take the perspective of what we enjoyed and what we liked and what we were doing there is what we want, and we miss the opportunity to look at the new opportunities of what can be, and we let those things begin to sour us, no doubt. Man, River, that's a lot. I wish I could move the whatever it's called, the closed captions a little bit further down, but anyway. Anywho, so we were going to work on this, but some good conversation pieces. So the idea of this thumbnail, and by the way, chat, you guys are always more to continue conversation. As you can tell, like the heartbeat of what I do on Twitch has always been people. And so in the midst of games, in the midst of what I have planned and am planned to work on, I'm always going to look to have meaningful and purposeful conversation first. So, but I get it, MTK. I don't have the same experience as River. I moved schools when I was in start of third grade. That was the only time I moved school districts. And that was because, so my thing wasn't about moving. Mine was because the reason of move, which was my biological father attempted to take my mother's life, and we moved in with my grandparents, and so we moved school districts that way. And so then I was in the same school district from that point forward. I've served in that school district since graduating as a substitute, as a football coach, as a lot of things. So like my connection to a specific district has been a lot over the course of multiple decades. But I may not have the same experience, but I can definitely understand, definitely empathize with you. It can be difficult, and those kind of things, especially when we're at a certain stage of life. If you're in school, it's a stage of life where you're formulating new things. You're formulating like the things you want to do, like understanding more about yourself and about what you want to be doing, as well as looking to create lasting and meaningful relationships. And it can really feel like God closing a door on you. It can definitely feel like that. So I can understand. That's what I want to say, is I can understand. I'm not going to try and like correct your thinking or try and give you something else. It's just, I understand. I get it. That frustration about why in the world would he make me move? Why in the world would I be taken from that situation? So we're done with this extensions page. This goes back to the video we're looking at, guys. It's specifically in relation to the why of budget creator labs. Why do these labs exist, and why does Shoestring Studio, thinking to the future, why it is? And so realistically in the video I talk about, I can actually pull up my script so I can think through this a little bit, because that's the better way of doing this. By the way, anybody who's curious, completely random, but I am currently somewhere over the 12,000 word mark on my fantasy novel, of actual words of potential first manuscript writing, and I have over 45,000 words, probably over 50,000 words written of world building, language building, creation lore, etc. So things are moving pretty decent for book writing and stuff like that. Anybody who's curious about that, is a completely random thing that came to my head because I have it written right here on my deadlines calendar. Anyway, so the reason I moved is because my parents said I complained too much, so they moved us. I blame myself for it. See, and M2K, that's where I would say there's always two sides to every coin. Even if there may be, even if you did play a part in it, I'll be blunt, right? Even if you were a part of that reason, the new place that you're in is a new opportunity. You can't be, you don't want to be at fault for missing that. You know what I mean? Like, the past is in the past. What's done is done. And I will tell you this. As a youth pastor, when I served in ministry for 10 years, and interacting with multiple different people who have moved around a lot, whether military related or not, you complaining is not the reason why your family moved. I guarantee it. It may be something that maybe they took into consideration in the fact of like, okay, maybe she's unhappy here. But there are bigger fish in the ocean. There are bigger reasons. Families don't up and move. Just putting that out there logically, right? Families don't up and move because a teenager was complaining about or had complaints. Because the other thing is, it's very easy to take what may have been a little bit and for us to turn up the heat on ourselves and to think it was way more than it actually was. It's called, we shame ourselves, right? We self-shaming, self-guilt, those kind of things. But there is no family I've ever known who has upped and moved solely because. You get what I mean? So don't beat yourself up. Do not beat yourself up. You were not the reason you moved. There's other reasons. And I would be one to even say this. Who cares? Who like don't try and seek out because our tendency is like, okay, well, I have to understand why. You know what? I mean, God tells Job, where were you when I created the planet? Where were you when I made the birds? Where were you when I shaped you in your mother's womb? We don't have to know. We just have to be faithful. We just have to be faithful and trust in the place we're in the time we're in, with the talents and skills we have, with the situations we're placed in. So do that. But I would encourage you, I've never known any family, and I would be 99.99999%. I'm 100% sure. Like I say it with that much confidence. Your family did not move because you complained. That is not at all the sole the sole reason, the top 3 reason, probably not even the top 10 reason why you moved. There were other reasons, no doubt about it. Whether job, whether living finances and financial opportunity, whether house opportunity, whether church community, whether family closeness or getting further away from certain family, whether there's 1,000 different things that would hold more weight as to why the move would happen. So stop it. Stop beating yourself up. Easier said than done, right? I get it. One of the biggest things we do when we don't know is we start critiquing, self-blame, self-hatred. And you know what? Some of it might just be because you don't know. And that not knowing is putting you in a place of where you're thinking something has far more weight or size than it actually did. So just be encouraged by that. I get it. It feels, it's a massive thing to move schools. Especially like I said earlier, when you're in stages of life in as a teenager where you're facing certain things of trying to understand who you are, what you want to do, where you want to go, building friendship, friends, relationships, all this. There's 1,000 different things. A move can really throw a wrench in the works of answering the question, who am I? But here's probably the most important thing for you to hear in any of this I've said is to that idea of teenagers often are in a place of life where we ask ourselves, who am I? And we're trying to answer that question. It's very easy for us to be placing the content of the answer to that question in our surroundings, whether it's through the relationships, through our activities, through our academics, through our connections, through our comfortability, through all these things. When in reality, getting a knee injury in a sport that we love, moving school districts from where we want to be to someplace we don't want to be, any of these kind of things are opportunities that I believe the Lord puts in front of us, that if we see them the right way, we can understand that they're opportunities for us to refocus and understand properly where our focus needs to be, where our identity actually truly resides and comes from. It's not in the school that we're a part of. It's not in the activities. It's not in the successes or failures of whatever we love or hate. It's not in the relationships that we build. It's not in how people around us see us, how they might bully us, or how they might praise us and raise us up like we're God's gift to men. Those things are not our identity. And being removed out of whatever place you were in at one school to now be in a different place, if we're stuck in, I'm so mad because I don't like it here, it's change, it's unfamiliar, it may not be the things that you were growing comfortable in the other or beginning to shape your who am I around. But the reality is, it's an opportunity to acknowledge and understand, who am I? You're God's child. You're a unique, unrepeatable, beautiful, and intelligent miracle of God. Beautiful and intelligent, made by his hand, made with a purpose and a plan. You're loved and you have great value. The identity is in, who am I? You're created by God. You're not so-and-so at such and such school. You're not a B student. You're not an F student. You're not less than because you're bullied. You're not greater than because you're treated like greater than sliced white bread. Any of these things. Those aren't your identity. You're his. Period. Red, how are you? How long are you going to be on? I'm watching a hockey game. My tooth extraction went well. Man. Pray I don't throw a blood clot and wind up with a dry socket. Bro. Man. Father, pray for healing for Red. Give you praise, Lord, for successful dentistry. Successful work on his mouth with a tooth extraction. Pray for healing. Lord, pray for calm nerves and wisdom in how he is a fan. Amen. M2K, the Holy Spirit, he's our comforter. That's what Jesus tells us, is he'll send the one to comfort us. He'll send us the great comforter. I'm not a fan. I'm a wind machine. Oh, no. I don't do hockey, so I don't comprehend that, but I don't comprehend it. I just have never been a fan. Wife hates it. Stop blowing hot air. Oh, man. Oh, you know what I was in the middle of doing? I just closed it. Here we go. That was good conversation stuff. That's a good conversation. Hopefully that's a benefit. Hopefully that's encouraging to you, M2K, to maybe somebody else in chat, but also Maybe to somebody else who sees this in the future. Who knows? Let the Lord use it how he wants. What was I going to do? I was looking at a script, right? That's what I was talking about. Yeah, because we were talking about creating a thumbnail. To answer your question, Red, I'm supposed to be 9:30, 10:30 on Tuesday. So I'm going to be hopping off soon. But I wanted to at least start this thumbnail. We're doing a lot of we've had a lot of good conversation tonight. Important conversation, meaningful conversation. Hopefully encouragement to different people in the community. So why no hockey? So here's the thing. If two people are in agreement to an understanding, things like boxing, right? MMA, UFC, hockey, things like that will incur from heavy acts of violence, then that's their thing. That's their thing. It's an agreement upon them. I do not. There is something internal for me that does not sit well whenever I see physical violence. And so hockey, boxing, UFC, stuff like that, I just don't watch. It's really difficult for me to watch. Or to get into, I should say. That's been a big thing for me, is that heavy man-to-man combat, if you will, in any kind of sport, I've never really been a fan of. Football's physical. Yes, it's physical, but nobody's outright punching somebody in the face, knee to chest. Nobody's like purposely doing those kind of things. So no Donnie Brooks for you. It is. I don't know what that is. I'm all about physical. I'm all about strength. I'm all about feats and athleticism and stuff like that. And I don't like, in saying that I'm not into those things, or I don't watch those things and stuff. It doesn't take away, like, I don't say that hockey is not a sport. I want to emphasize that or anything like that, but I just am not. And then the idea, like, there's different pieces that are just so foreign to me in comprehending how, like, what hockey is and how it all works and how the game works and stuff like that. I've tried to, usually using video games helps, and so I've tried to play like NHL and stuff like that, and I just have never, just not a fan. No hockey fights. Yeah. I'm not a hockey fight guy. Nope. And I know that's most of the things where people go like crazy, right, when that kind of stuff happens. And for me, I don't know, it's very gladiator-esque, and that it doesn't, I can only put so many words to it. I can't really explain it well, other than I literally have an inner revolt that happens when I see that. It's the same even in to an extent. I will not watch films and such that have excessive gore and excessive violence, brutal violence. So, yeah. And that's even knowing that stuff is fake. Like, I've said this numerous times years ago on stream, even about, like, when I look at videos or I look at content and stuff, I'm always looking at, like, the top 3 things I want to make sure, the top 3 things that can really take me out of something, and I think are imperative for myself or for others to be looking out for, and that is language, violence, and sexual content. And violence, meh. Like, I think I'm a big believer that many times language is lazy writing, just like in our lives. Many times using language is lazy. I've interacted with a lot of people who cuss a lot. Like it's laziness. And the so that one to me is probably the least concerning, although when it's used excessively, that it literally takes away from, like, I won't go, since I know that Wolf of Wall Street is like, 500 F-bombs in a 2-hour movie or whatever. It's just like, I don't really have an interest because I don't want to sit there and listen to the choir of F-bombs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to listen to that. The second for me is violence, and that one is like, I can handle different levels of violence, understanding that it's fake. That's a big thing, is that it's fake, as long as it's not glorified in certain things. One of the things to me is that that doesn't sit well to me is when you see revenge and such, vengeance arcs and such, that then are shown to be severely dark and gory and just brutal violence. I'm just not a fan of that. And then the third, I think, is the most important, which is sexual content. And that one, to me, I watch very little modern content because I'm a big believer that my ethics and values, my morals, should not be bent by the way of entertainment. I'm a firm believer that people need to hold themselves to higher standards than they do. I'm not sitting here judging anybody who's watched Game of Thrones or anything like that, but I believe that anyone in their right mind, if you're a professing Christian, you have no reason to watch. You have no reason. There's better things you can do. And I know people would disagree with me on that or whatever, and I'm not here to argue. The sexual content pieces, there are real pieces to that. There are real parts of your prefrontal cortex being reshaped when you see any kind of nudity. When you see any kind of lewd acts, there are parts of your prefrontal cortex that are being reshaped. And it's really happening. Also, if you're watching people sword fight and get stabbed in a movie, and you're like, oh yeah, that was so cool. Like, you're not actually like getting excited over the fact and understanding that somebody actually died. But when people get excited about, like, oh my goodness, that was so great, when they see certain inappropriate scenes in a movie, you're also, what you just lauded, what you just praised, was also an indecent act between two people. It's not something to be seen or watched by people. Anyway, so we could go down a long rabbit trail about stuff like that, but those are my big three when I look at content. And there's been a lot of content in the modern realm that my wife and I have stopped watching, or we've just never started because we just look up. The other thing is that we really don't have a reason not to know anymore. Common sense media, plugged in, there's Google, YouTube. You can easily see reviews and understand what is a part of things, and not be caught up in it, because you can do the work. And if we're going to put stuff, this is the thing to me. If you're going to put stuff into your body, whether it's food or through your eyes or through your ears, why would you not take now this is from a Christian perspective. If I'm a Christian, right, I can't expect people who don't claim to be a Christian to hold to these values, right? But if I'm claiming to be a Bible believing Christian, why would I not give effort to making sure that what I'm eating, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what's going on in my heart and my mind, right? Why would I not be caring for those things? We're just gonna loosey-goosey just go on in and watch something and then be put in front of something that affects us even when we don't think it does. So anyway, but to the WWE, I saw you ask about there and stuff. I don't do WWE, no. Some of that has been like I've seen like and while I say that I don't like I'm not interested in like I've watched clips, you know, of knockouts. I've watched clips of WWE matches. But I am not interested in everything that goes on with WWE. I'm not interested in the soap opera level of acting. I'm not interested in the um somewhat acted realistic feats but somewhat acted nature of WWE. I don't have interest. I'm not drawn into it, and I've never really had any kind of interest in it. I don't have any connection to it from my past. I know a lot of times that shapes it for people, right? Is when you've had like a dad that you have memories with watching football and you're a football fan because of that. You know what I'm saying? So I get those kind of things, but I just have never had any kind of any interest really. Excuse me. MTK, it's a great idea. It's a great idea to do that before you go to bed. You know, they're now saying, studies are now saying 2 hours before bed, trying to be off screens is the best thing you can do for yourself. So for yourself as a younger person, maybe that's a tool you can take up, and I can I can let you not be so, you know, affected negatively by things like me. I've been doing, you know, I've been eating Red 40 all my life. You know, I've been going to bed right after being on screens for a portion of my adulthood and stuff like that. But hopefully it's something that as these studies come out, people who are younger can lead the way in, you know, better arcs of life, 100%. But enjoy. Can I ask what book? I myself right now have like 11 books I'm in the midst of in some way, shape, or form. But I am currently reading Project Hail Mary. In the fantasy realm of books, I'm reading Project Hail Mary. I just from the library today, I grabbed Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because I've never read it, and I know that it's a classic, and I need to. I also have like a tech parenting book behind me that I have from the library, and then I have a couple other fantasy books, parenting books, as well as a whole bunch of other ones. But the most real thing I've watched that had an outright effect on me was a suicide. Pennsylvania state treasurer accused of financial crimes. Yeah, man. I can only imagine. Man. We were one. Well, like I said, M2K, I don't want you to think that like I have this like holier than thou, or thou art beast, like thou art remove all of these things. There are ones that I believe we should do our due diligence in, but like understanding certain things, you know, for example, if you're going to read I highly recommend that at some point in somebody's life that they have read like Huck Finn and stuff like that. If you read something like that, you're going to see terms, and you're going to read different terms that were used. I don't think they should be glorified, but I'm not saying you should be. Obviously, you shouldn't be reading a book that's like cussing everybody out, obviously. But what was it? We were one. I'm curious what this book looks like. Oh, and this is a history piece. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like understanding. Oh, it's free on Google Books. Is it really? Yeah, I'm looking at it right here, and I can read the whole thing if I wanted to. Nice. But yeah, you're going to also see that when you're reading from people's perspectives from certain backgrounds of lives, yeah, you're going to interact with that, obviously. So I'm reading a comic book trade paperback, The Saga of Valkyrie. Valkyrie as in like Thor, like that Valkyrie? Or are you talking about just a completely unrelated to Marvel? It's not a Marvel one. And the dark side of Catholicism. Yeah. By me saying that I have like 11 books started, it doesn't mean that I'm actively like trying to read between them. I mean, if that's the case, like I'm actively audiobooking The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I'm actively trying to read physically Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I'm reading through again The Case for Christ, and Jane Foster becomes Thor and then becomes Valkyrie after she dies of cancer. Interesting. And then like my stepdad had wrote his first book, and I had promised him that I would give it a read and such, and so I'm trying to read through that, and so I have pieces here and there that I'm actively working through, but I'm reading every day with my kid, my 4-year-old. I'm reading like kids books, but I'm also reading middle grade chapter reads and stuff like that, so I'm getting a whole ton of reading done. So it is Marvel. Okay, yeah, that makes sense if it has to do with Jane Foster and Thor. So anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna have to hold off on trying to do this. I am not sad or frustrated or anything in any way, shape, or form. I'm glad we've been able to have some of the conversation we've been able to have tonight. Hope the Lord has allowed me to encourage someone tonight, and I enjoy that I have the opportunity to be able to, I've been wondering to myself about, like, because as I've been reading through Job with my wife, we're reading it individually, but then we discuss it every Monday night. And I've been wondering, like, man, what application is this? Because it used to be, like, I think back to early days of streaming for me, and where, like, active study and active stuff with the Lord, I would be, like, it would have practical application and conversation and stuff, and relating to different people who would come in. And so with Job, it's just like, man, I don't know. And then tonight, straight up, 2 people been able to speak from how Job has affected my thinking and such. That's pretty cool. Congrats on the word count. I appreciate it. I'm behind my goal count. My goal attempt is 2,000 words a week, 1,800 to 2,000. I have a high side goal, because that would put me done by Thanksgiving, but my goal was 100,000 words in 1 year, which would put me at February. So gives me a little bit of flexibility in that, but obviously the faster I can get it done, the better, because then I can get back, I can refine it, and then I could start possibly doing some beta reads and look to get some support via Ko-Fi or a Patreon or something like that. You know what I mean? Kickstarter, maybe. I don't know. I'm not researching any of that with publishing or anything beyond, because I don't need to get ahead of myself. But Michael, hey yo, God bless. How are you? Welcome in. First time chat. Here I am, just wishing I could have done 50K in the month of November. LOL. Oh wow. Yeah, I've been I wish if I stopped all other things that I'm doing on the side, and I just focused between doing supplemental income with some some extra drive and delivery work, and then just wrote every day. Like if that's what I focused on, I'd probably get it done faster. But I also think I would burn myself out. So browsing the Christian tag, let's go. Yep, that tag will always be on there for me. It'll always be on there for me. So good to have you. I'm on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, and usually each night is a little bit different focus. Tonight, we usually spend time focusing in on Budget Creator Labs is what it's called. Really setting the groundwork for creating content to help those who I can share experience in, which is starting from a shoestring budget and trying to get started into content and such. Trying to put together a foundation series of videos. But Thursday, there's a Steelers blanket back there. Well, hey, listen, God loves you, even if you are. Let's see, I can't even have it. God has made me in such a way. Sometimes I hate it. I've never been really good with comebacks. I've never been really good like attacking anybody, and so I've never really, I guess, at least in my adult years, I've never been frustrated that I can't do that well. But listen, everybody's entitled to their wrong opinion, even you. Oh man, but you're welcome here, even if you're wrong. Browns and Lions, you like to be miserable? Something tells me, just by those two listed, something tells me that you've been a Browns fans, but recently you've taken on to the Lions because you've been hopeful that they'll actually bring you some joy in life. That's what that makes me think. And yet again, Michael, I'm going to say this. Yet again, I have a tendency. I'm a Steelers fan. I'm born and bred in Pennsylvania all my life. I went to school. I went to college in Ohio. Was surrounded by Ohio State fans and Cleveland Browns fans. I just have a tendency all my life, whether I was in Ohio or back in Pennsylvania or here online, if I counted up the amount of fans of certain football teams that I've interacted with or know, I would guarantee that probably at least 20% of them, when you consider there's 32 teams, probably 20% of them, something around that, have been Cleveland Browns fans. I don't know why. I don't know why. I must be a spiritual masochist who just loves to interact with people who just, hate the same things I do. Or hate the things that I don't hate. I don't know. Okay, so we're on the same page about OSU. I got you. Dads and mom, as a kid, went to the Browns, but was like, man, they suck. Dad likes the Lions. I should try that. Well, you're in a better state of the world when it comes to the Lions. You're in a better hopeful run. I will tell you, if the Browns get something together there at quarterback, they're nothing to be taken lightly for either. So, diehard Michigan fan. All right, nice. Steelers through and through. You got it. Who typed Cowboys in my chat? M2K, I saw what you were doing. You were just asking him. Get that garbage out of here. I don't deal with 1-star ratings. Anyway, so I'll have to for this video, I'll have to work on the maybe just next Tuesday or some point off stream throughout the week. I'll work on this, the packaging, the thumbnail and stuff for this first video. Start to get it together. We can all trash the Cowgirls though. Your dad a Red Wings fan? More hockey. I recognize the teams. People ask me like, who's your favorite team? I would just say the Penguins because Pittsburgh. Who's your favorite baseball team? The Pirates because it's Pittsburgh. And that's just because I don't really care. I don't care for baseball. I don't care for hockey. I am 1000% football. Always have been. 1000% football. I used to enjoy some basketball, but basketball became Professional basketball became garbage. Garbage. So, hot stinking pile. Your city got a team. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Man. Yeah, when Pittsburgh brings back the Condors, the basketball team, the Pittsburgh Condors or the Pittsburgh Pipers, I'll get back at the NBA, into the NBA track, but that's not going to happen. Your city got a team? Well, where the Red Wings? Where are the Red Wings located? Oh, Detroit. I got to look at a list of the teams. I got to look at the teams. Let me guess. Was it Utah? Or are you in Las Vegas? The Las Vegas Golden Knights. Let me see here. You're just saying that they got a team. So what? Was it the Blue Jackets? The Columbus Blue Jackets? Okay. Yep, Red got it there too before I did. All right. I was going to say, because Columbus, and then it says the Minnesota Wild. I'm looking at like teams and like when they were first seasons in the NHL. The only other ones would have been before that, like the Atlanta Thrashers. What a name. And then the Vegas Golden Knights. But those are really recent. The Vegas Golden Knights are really recent, aren't they? Five when they became a team? When who became Columbus? What do you mean you're old? When did Columbus become a team? Columbus became a team in 2000 to 2001 was their first season in the NHL. And you said you were 5 when they became a team? Bro. I would have been 8. Deal with it. I became a Bills fan because my family, who was NFL fans, were Cowboys fans. I'm 700 miles from Western New York. Oh, wow. See, and that was 30 this year. Hey, why are you crying? You're entering into your golden years. I got one foot in the grave and another in a banana peel. I see, Red, that was actually one of the reasons why I became a Steelers fan. Because you're saying you're 700 miles from Western New York. I grew up in a household, my biological father and my mom were Miami Dolphins fans. Dan Marino, Miami Dolphins fans specifically. Many awkward memories of my mom reminding me that she enjoyed Dan Marino in his white pants. Anyway, and I decided, because like, what does Miami have to do? What does Miami have to do with this being here in Pennsylvania? I was like, I'm going to make a choice for myself. And being in Pennsylvania, obviously, that mainly came down to like, okay, what about the Eagles, Philadelphia or Pittsburgh? And I had horrible interactions with Philadelphia people, Philadelphia fans. So I decided on the Steelers. And I appreciated a lot of things about the blue-collar nature of the Steelers and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot that went into that. But so I became a Steelers fan. My oldest sister became a Steelers fan. My younger sister became an Eagles fan. And my brother became a Patriots fan. So none of us wanted anything to do with our parents' favorite teams. uh, well, I'm actually Michael. You're coming in. I'm actually on later than I normally am on Tuesdays. I usually am off at 10:30, so I'm gonna be hopping out. Um, so I'll 42 this year. I remember 2 years of the 4 straight Super Bowls. Oh man. Oh man, lame. Listen, I got 2 youngins that I watch during the day. Thank you, Lord. I got to speak more positively before I do different work stuff in the evening. I have my gram over tomorrow for dinner, so I need to make sure that I get a good amount of rest tonight. But were you folks University of Pittsburgh fans? I mean, I've shared this on stream before, but we never really had any interaction into college sports. So it was just NFL on Sunday. We were always Saturdays. It was always out and about, outside and play outside until the fireflies are stopped blinking. You know what I'm saying? Like there was never any interaction with college sports. So that's where I decided on, because of my interaction with Miami, the Dolphins, I chose from the colors. I chose the Miami Hurricanes, and I don't really care, but go Canes. but yeah, so yeah. Tom Brady go. Golly. College grade in the NFL. All right, here we go. Golly. All right. Yeah, for me, I can keep track of things in the NFL better, right? Everybody's not changing every 4 years. There's not, 18 million teams, etc. So the game itself might be more pure, but who knows how long that's gonna last. So anyway, guys, I do need to be hopping. We had some good conversations tonight. I'm glad I did stay on a little bit. M2K, I hope you were encouraged, and River, hope you were encouraged as well. Anyone else? But how tired do I look without my glasses on? Usually it's pretty tired because I got big bags under my eyes. But just a reminder, though. Just a reminder, if you're here for the first time or the 8 millionth time, reminding you that the identity you hold is not based upon your successes and failures in life. It's not based upon what others say about you or even what you think about yourself. It's not based upon who you are. It's based on whose you are. You are a unique, unrepeatable, beautiful, and intelligent miracle of God. You're made in His image. You're made with a purpose and a plan. You are loved, and you have great value. So, with that, guys, whether it's football, whether it's shoestring budget conversations, or whether it's this Thursday where we will talk more football, because probably doing TikTok live on Thursday night and see how that goes for the first time in a while, and then back here live on Twitch, probably 10:30 on Thursday, 9:30 on Friday. Yeah, I'm like trying to stay processing as I'm saying this to make sure that it's very clear and coherent, but it's not working. Guys, God bless y'all. Have a great night. Thanks for coming in, being a part, and I look forward to seeing y'all Thursday. Peace.